Maybe you're considering a folding bicycle. They're pretty useful. I've had a lot of fun with this one. This is a 2005 model. It's called a down tube. These are generic. They just stick a name on them and sell them. I got this one for $275. It's a fun bicycle. I have 3 bicycles. I have a mountain bike, I have a road bike, and I have this folding bicycle. I want to make sure I mention 2 of the more expensive folding bicycles, not the only ones, but Bike Friday, which has 20-inch wheels, and a Brompton, which I think has 16-inch wheels. I favor the Bike Friday, but they're both excellent bicycles, especially for multimodal travel. You know, if you're going to take a taxi, bus, train, plane, you can bring along a folding bicycle. Folding bicycles are really popular with pilots, private pilots. They'll fly to an airport, get out their folding bicycle, and travel around wherever they land. Well, this one, of course, is a lower end one, but it's certainly serviceable and great. It's a fun bike to ride around on. I'm having a blast on it. So to fold the bike up, you loosen this up and you just fold that down, and then you can loosen this up, unlock it, and you can fold it. Now, what you should notice is that the bike doesn't get that small. The saddle can drop down, and I can compress things a little bit more. I don't want to bother. So I go into New York City with this bicycle, and I'll take the train in. And on the train, they allow you to take folding bicycles, but they won't allow you to take a regular bicycle, which, it's kind of silly. But that's the rules, so I'll be happy to take my bicycle in and ride around all over New York City with this thing. It's great. And it's certainly a great urban bike. It's fun for riding around the city, local riding. I'd say up to 20 miles, it's a pretty good bicycle to ride. Not as good as a dedicated mountain bike, hybrid, or road bike, but it's got its virtues. To get a good saddle position, you want a 10-degree bend in your leg. It actually rides okay. It's a fun bike to ride for me. It feels a little different than a regular bike, but that's to be expected. There are some characteristics you may want to consider when you buy a bicycle like this. This one has a Shimano 9-speed cassette in the back. It's entirely Shimano compatible. As parts wear out and I need to replace them, I can use Shimano parts. For instance, it came with a grip shift. This is a 9-speed. There's only 1 chain ring in the front and 9 in the back, 9 sprockets in the back. So this one came with a grip shift. It was over here, and you would shift the gears this way, and that wore out pretty quickly. And I replaced it with a Shimano mountain bike shift system, and that worked out just fine. It was just an easy replacement. Typically, these bikes come with pretty poor components. They charge a premium for the bicycle because it folds, but they give you kind of crummy components. Since I've had this one since 2005, I rode it about 1,000 miles a year commuting to work. It was a 4-mile commute each way, and this bike was perfect for that. I wore out the front wheel, the bearings, so I replaced both wheels. I went to a bike shop that deals with recumbents, and they had this 20-inch wheels, nicer ones. I got Shimano Dior wheels, hubs, and they've worked really well. One-time replacement. Came with really crummy pedals, so I replaced the pedals out of my my parts box with a mountain bike pedal, and I just put toe clips on it because I usually ride in normal shoes, and that worked out really well. I replaced the saddle. The saddle that comes on these bikes is usually pretty crummy. And that worked out good also. The brakes. This bike has cantilever mountain bike brakes. They're nothing fancy, but they work fine, so I'm not going to bother replacing them unless I have to. Now the cables, I had to replace all the cables. They came with pretty inferior cables. Replacing the cables made a big difference in how everything works. The tires are 20-inch tires. And I think that's a good thing to look for, because you can get high quality recumbent tires for these bikes. and they'll take 100 pounds of pressure, which gives you a nicer ride on the road, less rolling resistance. Otherwise, you're in BMX land with lower pressure tires. 10 and 12-inch tires, I don't think you're going to find very much in the way of tires. They're pretty limited. So the bike is good. I replaced the chain. I think it's either stainless steel or nickel plated. That doesn't rust. So it's because this bike is out in the rain a lot. And of course it folds. But it's heavy. These bikes are heavier than a traditional bicycle because they have so much mass they have to deal with to make it fold. Now, a regular bicycle gets quite small if you take the wheels off. If you want to go through that, hassle of taking the wheels off, they get quite small. Now, this one has a huge advantage as a commuting. I live in New Jersey and I travel into New York City quite a bit. And I can take this, I can ride this bicycle to the train station. And because it's a folding bike, they have rules that you can only take bicycles on the train certain hours of the day. But because this is a folding bike, I can take it. The rules allow you to take this on a train. I don't know why. It's bigger than a regular bicycle when you fold it up, but that's kind of handy. So I can take this bike, ride to the train station, get on the train, get off in New York, and ride the bike around New York City. So it works out really well for me, and I'm pretty happy with it. So I'm not planning on getting rid of this bicycle, even though I have much nicer bicycles. But it's got some functionality, and the back bag has a pannier-like compartment here. You can it's on each side. You can bring this down, and you have a little storage area, and I have a backpack in there with my tools and stuff and spare tube, and that allows me to carry and transport quite a bit of stuff when I'm bike riding. So it's great. Here I'm out camping. It's really wonderful to have this and be able to ride around the campground with this. It's a lot of fun to see who's here and check out other campsites, and maybe go to the office if I have to register or something. It's just a great way to travel. I just love bicycling. So folding bicycles are certainly a possibility. Now, I rooftop this one a lot on the car. It's my bicycle rack. It's a universal bike rack, and it locks to these cross members. You buy this tray, and it locks right on here. And what I like about it is it's universal. When I sell this car, eventually, I can take the bike rack tray and move it to another car. And the way I have this roof rack configured, I can fit 2 of these bicycle trays on here. I can fit 2 bicycles and my cargo box, which is really great when I'm traveling with a friend. So it's kind of a nice setup. These rack pieces, they're expensive, and if you get one that you can transfer to another car, you may save some money in the long run. And this one's totally adjustable. You can lock the bicycle to the rack, and you can the rack locks to the cross member. That doesn't mean that it can't be stolen. It just means that it's going to keep the honest people honest. So it's good. I think a bicycle is just such a great thing to have along, and it's so much fun. You go bicycle riding with your friends. This one I've got the lighting on bicycles has just been spectacular. It's just been crazy lately. This one I have 2 tail lights, and they kind of warn the cars that I'm there. And I have a headlight, and this little headlight, it must run on AAA batteries. It's pretty bright, and it does a great job. Certainly for tooling around camp, can't be beat. It's really a fun thing to do. So this is one of my activities I do when I'm out here, is I do a lot of bicycle riding, and boy, is it fun.